Yeah, you know me, got the tree, got the hemp, got the flare. I'm gon' lean in this chair, about to put this in the air. A little bit of that best way to smoke in the air, nigga. A little bit of that best way to smoke in the air, nigga.
What's up with y'all out there? This is Best Way to Smoke Unfiltered, and I'm Big J. Make sure you stay elevated at all times.
What's poppin', y'all? It's your professional hype woman, C Pop, Team Shiny Forehead in the building. Happy Monday, happy Monday. How's everybody feeling?
Man, happy Monday, happy Monday. It is shining though, but shit, if I took my hat off, my whole head would be shining around this motherfucker.
We would be cousins.
You know what I'm saying? Ah, man. But shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody that's tapping in with us. We definitely appreciate that. And y'all know this month is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. You know what I'm saying? And we want to kind of like stay on par with that, just mental health in general. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna highlight Pac-Man Jones. You know, Pac-Man Jones had a up and down career in the realm of like his activities. He was always a good player and shit though. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the way he got down, very aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know football is an aggressive sport, and he was put in the right sport. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to read a little bit of information, though. So Pac-Man Jones, following his highly publicized and intense career as an NFL All-Pro cornerback, Pac-Man Jones shifted his platform entirely towards mental longevity, health, and wellness in his retirement. The injury catalyst, major neck and shoulder surgeries required during his football career led to a heavy prescription opioid use. Jones openly shares that these pharmaceuticals cause severe negative side effects, including deep depression, intense mood swings, and a major decline in his mental well-being. Now, here's where the advocacy and the partnership come in. To find a healthier path forward, he turned to cannabis as a tool for mental health maintenance. He partnered with the prominent brand Cookies to launch his own project, using the platform to advocate for specific cannabis strains and terpenes that directly target sleeplessness, stress, depression, and anxiety. Here is a look at Pac-Man during his professional career. Y'all see his picture right there. He played for the Cowboys, the Bengals. I think he played, I forget what other teams he played for though, man. But shout out to Pac-Man Jones for even recognizing the fact that, you know, he had some issues going on and to find a better alternative, which was that green thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, he found a better alternative to handle what he needed to handle, though, man. So shout out to him for that.
Shout out to him. And with it being in football, like one of the most common injuries like you could have are like concussions. You know what I'm saying? And everything you listed there for like symptoms like anxiety, depression, just everything along the sort, that can still fall under symptoms of a concussion as well. You know, it kind of makes your head feel like scrambled eggs, like, and you're trying to get, you know, while you're trying to live an everyday life, right? It's like rebooting a computer. You know, it's going to shut down and like, you know, take a minute to like get back, if you do get back to normal. So shout out to him for like really taking that step forward, because a lot of men in the NFL might not even know how to deal with that or even really know that.
Right. Yeah. Technical difficulties though. Yeah, they definitely don't understand. A lot of them don't understand how to deal with these certain issues though. But the good thing about it is, you know, there's a lot more information and a lot more attention on, you know, the mental health aspects and what goes on with people and individuals. Look, Pop over there froze like a motherfucker though. You know what I'm saying? But it's good to be able to see that and to know what's kind of going on, you know, with individuals and stuff like that though. Because when it comes to mental health, you think about, and football sports, you think about a lot of these athletes have injuries and stuff like that, and don't know how to necessarily cope. You know what I'm saying? Because they're put on these prescription drugs, you know, like the opioids and different things that'll take them to a place to, you know what I mean, that they probably never been and didn't really want to experience, or just, you know, like the experience just based on it helping them, you know, feel a little bit better or whatever though. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to the plant, the cannabis plant, the cannabis flower, because there are strains and terpenes and different things out there that can come in and help a person that's dealing with them certain, you know, mental aspects, mental issues, you know what I'm saying? And just in everyday life though, just to be able to sit back and you know, take a break. Hey, let me see what's going on with the Popinator. Let me see what's going on with the Popinator. Oh, there she go. Yeah, Pop popped out though, but now she's back. Finish your thought, Pop. You remember?
I would just say shout out to him for really highlighting, like, you know, not just like highlighting the effects he might have had suffering from a concussion, or maybe his colleagues. Maybe it wasn't him. You know, I know concussions are very like common in the NFL. You know, you have them head injuries and stuff when you're going head to head, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anyone here had a concussion before. I have one time and I had no idea what the fuck was going on. And when I tell you, when it finally got diagnosed, I just like shed tears. Like it just came at it. Like when they were like, hey, this is going to happen. That's going to happen. Check off everything that like applies to you. And it was just like uncontrollable, just like release of just like, wow. I didn't know what was going on. You know, I didn't know what was going on. So,
right.
Instead of getting hooked or having the, you know, possibly get hooked on, you know, narcotics or whatever the case is, because those can be really addicting.
Right.
Like I commend him for leaning towards the tree.
Ain't no question.
You know, I've said a number of times, like the tree has gotten a number of like my loved ones out of like addiction crisis. So as far as like using it for an alternative medicine, I'm for it, you know. So shout out to him for shedding light on that. And happy Men's Mental Health Month one more time.
Let's go. Yeah, shout out to Men's Mental Health Month. We gotta stay sane. I know a lot of dudes. Damn, I wish I would have put the video up though, but a lot of men be at their breaking point sometimes though, right? So that look, and I'm gonna say this though, sometimes that breaking point for some men could be Father's Day. You know what I mean? You know, because it's a trip though that, like, I done seen so many shows, talked to so many people, but it's just a trip that the emphasis that's not put on, you know, Father's Day for some fathers, but overall for a lot of fathers though. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I seen this video. It was this father. I guess he was fed up. He didn't get nothing for Father's Day, right? From his family. Don't know the situation and the dynamic. He set the house on fire and was calm. He sat on the porch. He set the house on fire, sat on the porch. And when the police came up, he just put his hands behind his back, got up, put his hands behind his back very calmly. You know what I'm saying? So I took that like, you know, that man was at his breaking point for whatever was going on inside that household, where he felt like he should be appreciated and stuff like that though. And it's just something to definitely keep a light on though. But me personally, I had a good Father's Day. You know, Father's Day was good. And I'm not big on the holidays anyway like that though. I don't celebrate every holiday, so I don't put a lot of emphasis into like the Mother's Days, the Father's Days and stuff like that, and Christmas and all that. So I feel like, you know, you can do that for your peoples all the time and just, you know, be that for your peoples all the time, not necessarily just on them days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Celebrate your mother, your father, celebrate whoever, every day, because you never know how long a person gonna be here anyway. You know what I mean?
Right, right. I'm personally like, I'm a daddy's girl through and through, so
Junior,
however,
right?
huh?
Pop Junior, right?
Bob, right, Bob Jr.
Right,
I get that name after my dad for those who did not know. That comes
right.
from my dad. So, but just throw my first initial in front of it. But yeah, that comes from my dad. But however, my dad got to be the hardest person to shop for.
Huh.
He's so simple in so many ways. Like, he's just so like laid back in so many ways. And like, I feel like he even he told me and my sisters, he's like, I am maxed out for football gear, because we would always just give him football stuff.
That's the easy go-to right there. That's the easy
Because he's
go-to.
so simple. Like, so then even like, if I could afford a ticket every now and then to a really good game, like, I'll meet up with my siblings and be like, yo, let's get them this, like,
Right.
and like things like that. But then, what if people don't always have that time? Or like, on the I try to think, he's so hard to shop for, is basically what I'm saying. Like, but I love planning experiences with him when I can.
Right.
So, I wasn't able like to spend the actual Father's Day with him this year. However, we went to the New York Knicks parade after they won.
Right.
We didn't bring nobody with us.
Right. Right.
It was just like, whoever's about to kill this vibe ain't coming. And we just turned up, turned up. So we both loved experiences, and I just like anything I can be able to do to like provide that for him. Like I try to, but it is hard. One thing I will say, it is hard to shop for men. Like, so, and you'll even ask him, what do you want?
Right.
What do you want? You know what I'm saying? So, but experiences is my thing anyway.
Right.
So I try to do that with a little bit of like, like what this person enjoys. You know what I'm saying? I really try to do that. I feel like I'm great at gifts for no occasion, but the pressure of having an occasion is like, I don't know what's wrong with me. For real. Like, but so I try my best. Like, cause you know what? Besides one other person in like my whole friend group, I don't know another family who had their dad when I was growing up.
Right.
I'm the only one besides one other of my friends. So I'm super grateful. So I tried so much to show love when I can. So for me, and like, I didn't get to spend all the different every Father's Day with my dad. You know what I'm saying? So the Father's Day, he was able to be home and we were able to like do something. Like, when I say it was a bash, like it put Mother's Day to shame.
Right.
Right. Whipped out that grill. My dad loves making drinks in the blender.
That's
like, so we whipped out the blender, the grill. When I say we were cooking out for 3 days, just 3 days. Just mad people in and out, in and out, in and out. So, it's unfortunate for those dads out there who don't have, like, who can't experience that. But like, I will say for those like say what you want, put it out there what you want.
That's the best thing. That's the best way. That's the best way.
Right. Put it out there, because trust me, like when I get together with certain people, like we be stressing, like, what does this person want? You know what I'm saying? Unless that shit's planned not way ahead of time, but it's
right.
We try to be creative for our dads, our fathers, our, whatever out there. So put it out there what you want, please. Please. Especially if you're simple. Just plant little seeds, say it directly, or you know, like
or say what you don't want.
That too.
Say what you don't want. That'll work. You know what I'm saying? That works too though. But look, so when you sent me the picture, Pop, you know what I mean? With the grits and shit, when you sent me the picture, right? At first it was like the shit on the table, you know what I mean? Like about to get prepared with the little face you had, you know what I'm saying? Like, so when I looked at it, I seen that it was brown sugar.
Yeah, Light brown sugar at that. That's all we had in the house. That's what we had.
I said, wait, hold up. I said, wait, hold up, though. Hold up. It's supposed to be just regular white sugar, though. So I never experienced that experience. So how was that experience with the light brown sugar?
So first of all, for those who don't know, Big J and my pops feels some type of way about grits. Okay, he feels some type of way about how people eat their grits. He's a very like salt, pepper, butter, maybe some cheese. You know, he loves some shrimp and grits. Like he loves it savory. Yeah. So some people, you know, a lot of, especially if we have lineage from the South, they like sugar in their grits. They like sweet grits. My dad got a problem with that. Got a problem with that. So it's been an ongoing thing for Big J and my pops when it comes to grits. So, man. But he's a man of his word. He was like, I will try anything once, you know, and I'll give you my honest review. So he had me go to the store. Thank you, Big J, to get the ingredients for the grits.
You didn't get the sugar though.
I know, but like, we're not even like, they wouldn't even have. That's all they were. That's all they had.
Right. That's all they had.
They weren't going to use white sugar for nothing else.
Right. Nothing
you know
else.
What I'm
right.
saying? So. But yes, my dad bought, or we had some light brown sugar, not even brown sugar, but light brown sugar. And Big J said, try the whole shebang, salt, pepper, and sugar. So he did. The very next morning he did. He tried it. And he was just like, I'm going to say it's like this. He's like, it's not a thumbs down. He's like, it's not terrible. He's like, I'm going to finish this bowl because I made it. But
that's right. That's old school. Again. That's old school.
Yeah. He was like, I'm gonna eat this, you know. But would I do it again? Like, not really. He likes his salt and pepper and butter.
Right. That's right. At least he gave it a try, though. You know what I mean?
He gave it a try, and he made me try it too.
So you didn't like it, huh? Because the brown sugar, though, I never had it with brown sugar, though. I put that in oatmeal. You know what I'm saying?
Don't kill me. I don't care for grits.
Oh, right. You did say that, though. Yeah. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that, though.
I don't care for them. Like, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shrimp and grits, sure. But, like, my dad will make grits, eggs, some sort of meat, like usually sausage or bacon and a side of toast. Like, you know, that's
salmon how croquettes, yeah.
You know, that's how he does his thing. So I don't care for it like that. So, but did he make me a bowl with salt, pepper, and brown sugar? Yes. So I ate it.
That's right. Nobody else in the house tried it?
No, I think it was just us. Okay. I think it was just us that day. You know, my sister, she eats them too. I don't know if my mom eats them. I don't know if she eats them. I didn't even think about that. But my sister, she eats them too, but she eats the ones she cooks.
Right.
I don't know. But it was just me and him in the house. So
right.
He tried it.
That's right. Look though, so I don't feel like we've been heavy on a relationship kind of conversation though. We didn't do it last time though, because we had that great interview, and then I think the time before that though we sprinkled a little something in there though. But this is a kind of, I ain't gonna say a different twist though, but we're gonna look at a couple of videos that I pulled up, and these are women speaking about other women, and we have a woman here that can give her perspective. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to hear it though. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get into the first one though. Let's go.
Like, so listen, I've been saying this. Women don't listen. It's a bad trait that we have. We do not listen. And that's unfortunate because life could be so much easier sometimes if you just shut the fuck up and listen. Ooh. But, you know, whatever.
That's a good point.
That's it. That's all.
That's it.
That's straight.
No context.
Straight to the point though. Yeah, women don't listen though. Like, just in the overall in the relationship though. Let's talk about it, Pop though. Why is it like that though?
Oh, that's your question for me? It's a question for me. That's it. Why don't women listen?
Yeah, why don't women all right, let me give some scenarios, right? A man will say, oh, baby, I checked your oil, you need to go get an oil change. Oh, okay, I'm gonna make you an appointment to go get an oil change or whatever. If I don't have time to do it, I'm gonna make you an appointment to get an oil change or whatever. And she don't go get the oil change. Now 2 months pass by. Now the car running hot though because the oil done ran out. It's old as a motherfucker and it done ran out though. So why don't women listen though, Pop?
Listen, I can't relate because if you're making me an appointment, like, listen, your oil, you checked my oil and you made me an appointment, I'm getting there. Okay. Hopefully you know my schedule. So to be like, listen, I know you got this going this day, but this time when you got space, you're getting your oil changed. I'm like, okay.
Right.
I can't relate. What I will say though is on the other side of things is my ex was a mechanic, right? Okay. And he would tell me that. He'd be like, your oil's low. So I'm like, okay. What you want me to do about it? You the mechanic. Like the fuck? And mind you, he's the one who pushed me to get my license. I don't know nothing about cars. I didn't know shit about driving until, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just like, what do you want me to do with that information? And then one time he came in the room. He's like, hey, he's like, wake up. I'm like, what's up? He's like, no, sit up. I was just like, what the fuck? He was hot. He was hated. He's like, you have no oil in this shit. None. Man. You have a nice ass car. You don't have a drop of oil. He's like, you don't give a fuck about your car. I'm like, I do, but like, when you're telling me your oil's low and you're about to go in to your fucking, you know what I'm saying? You're about to go in and do what you do. You know what I'm saying? He worked all like around the clock doing cars around the clock. Right. You know, sometimes he had, a 9 to 5 on the side. He would always do stuff on the side. So I'm thinking, okay, at some point you're going to get to my shit. What the fuck what do you mean? Like, what are you waiting for me to say? Like, you know what I'm saying? So
he might have been waiting on you to be like, oh, you want me to go get the oil, babe? Or what kind of oil I need or something? You want me to go pick it up?
Listen, I don't know what he was trying to say because anytime my car needed something, he just took care of it. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like
that was odd then. So that was kind of odd that he was just kept saying.
So he like once he would like to be petty sometimes. So I'm just like, is this a petty moment for you? I can't read between the lines. Are you trying to like tell me something? You got to be direct with me. Like, hey, this is what I don't like. This is how this will make me comfortable. Something. You got to be direct with me. But we were kids. You know what I'm saying? We were young. So I don't. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, I was. That's one time I was just like, what do you want me to do about it? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to school full time, working full time. I mean, he had a full schedule too, but it's just like you could literally take the keys and go into work and get my shit done. Like, I don't understand. But ended up getting done.
Right. So look, okay, this is in another realm of like why women don't listen. You know what I'm saying? So, you're a woman, women of all different age groups. So I'm pretty sure women in different situations of not listening. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, one of my peoples, he lived with his woman and shit, right? And her kids, right? They have a kid together, but she got other kids and stuff, right? She got older kids and they don't do shit. They don't clean up. You know what I'm saying? They don't really do nothing. Yeah, the kids that's at the house. One of them barely pay bills or anything and help. I think he over 25. You know what I'm saying? Barely pay bills, but still in the house or whatever. So he always try to set, guidelines and rules and stuff like that. Like, man, they need to do this and do that and do this, but they don't even listen to him because she don't give a fuck about what he's saying, so they don't even listen to him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if it's a man in the room trying to, you know, build some kind of standards, right? Structure,
right.
And
Structure, standards, all that.
right? And in the household, why wouldn't you want to listen to that so everything could kind of run smoothly and shit though? Like, so why women don't listen?
That's a bold statement, but I'm gonna go back to the question. That right there, I don't know. I don't know with that, because like I feel like you could really ask a lot of women, you know, what like about their family dynamic, and I'm pretty sure most of them would want some type of assistance in the home. You know, no one's asking you to put on an apron or nothing like that, but some type of standards and structure and clean, like whether it's cleaning, whether it's participating in a bill or whatever makes my plate lighter. Like, yes, please step in so I can shut my ass up. Please. So I don't know how to answer that. I don't. One thing I will say is that your question about, I probably know a lot of women, you know, different age groups or whatever. However, what I've seen with them not listening to their spouse is usually because the respect starts to drift away, you know, or it's like a, you know, if someone is like, if they have to constantly repeat themselves to the point where they're taking care of it themselves anyway, then the respect starts to go, or they're just like, they, you know, basically the respect starts to go, because it's just like, you know, I have to either keep repeating myself, I have to take on the burden by myself, or there's some type of respect like factor that's like missing. You know what I'm saying? Because like if you really have like respect and like just trust, I guess you can say, in that dynamic, it's like, why wouldn't you trust? Like, what's the point of y'all being together? It's just the sex is good,
right?
She got a place to stay. Like, what's the point? What's the point? You know, because you want your plate to be lighter. You want a yin to your yang. So I don't understand. But but most of the majority of the times, what I will see is like the respect starts to go, whether that's because he's not doing his duties or cheating or some type of misalignment. I don't even want to just blame the man, but some type of misalignment. It's just where they're just like, I don't fucking care no more. You know what I'm saying?
I think sometimes too, though, that's true. You're right about that, though. But I think sometimes too, it could be that independent, strong woman syndrome also that could creep in and kind of like, I've been doing this. You know, just say a woman that's probably been on her own for a long time, taking care of her kids or whatever the case may be, and then the man steps in. So now the man trying to set rules and guidelines and shit though, but then now it's like, I've been doing this all by myself all this time, and now she's not, you know, listening, you know, giving that respect to the man that she's dealing with. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes too though, that plays a part. You know what I'm saying? That I'm a strong, independent woman. That's fine to be a strong, independent woman, but you got to know when to, you know what I'm saying, open that wall, drop that wall down, though, and be guided sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's the case, that too, and then also hurt women. People who bring, I want to say, anyone who bring their past into like a new situation, it's just like,
right,
what you want us to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like what you want us to do. So that could definitely be a factor, you know, like when you think you're strong and whatever the case, but you could be both is my thing. Like you can be strong, you can be like independent, but like when you get into a relationship, it's supposed to be interdependent. You know what I'm saying? You guys are supposed to like come together as a union. So that independent stuff, like it doesn't, like, why you're in a relationship.
Independent. Right.
Yeah. It's not saying you have to lean on or or you have space. Basically, you have space to lean on. You have a little bit more breathing room to like. You have a partner now. You know what I'm saying? So you should be able to be like, okay, you know, in the beginning it might feel weird because you have someone like trying to do things, you know, but also if they're not doing things to your liking or whatever, like why don't you try to, or not even not doing things to your liking, but if you're not like sure how they might do things, why don't you give it a chance? Like, okay, like, hey babe, why don't you try it this way? Or hey babe, I really like when it's done like this, you know, or something like that. Like, why wouldn't you want the support?
Right. Hey, John says, we will never know. One of the world's mysteries for centuries. The question has been, why the fuck won't they listen? Ain't no question, man. I ponder, John. I ponder, you know?
Yes, I ponder. I seen a video with that word lately, and it was pondering. We can't ponder.
Right. We can't ponder around this mother. You know what I'm saying? So now let's transition into something else real quick. You know what I'm saying? So we can keep it flowing along. This is another woman talking about women, and I wanted to pull these up because these are women discussing other women, and they have the insight on women. Why? Because they're women. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They know better than us. They got the girlfriends, the sisters, the cousins that they talk to. He said, John say, haha, doing things to the wife's liking. Yeah, that'll never. All right, let's go. Now let's see what she talking about right here.
And of women are not marriage material.
Well, hold on.
80% of women are not marriage material. They're not. They're selfish. They're self-centered. They don't have what I would consider that base core feminine skill, that feminine quality. Mm-hmm. They don't have that. They don't even trust their own intuition. They don't even have good intuition. Like I'm trying to teach a woman about intuition, like what that is and how to know things. That is deeply a part of the feminine.
Woo, that's one of them ones right there though. She just dropped a ball. She dropped a couple bars.
Yeah. I women not knowing their intuition. I can't relate.
Man.
I can't relate. That's crazy to me. That's
but
crazy.
She said most women are not 80%. She said 80. This is a therapist that speaks to a lot of women. She said, and she's an older woman, so she has some knowledge. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? She says 80% of women are self-centered. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They hold on. Let's hold on.
She said 80% are not marriage material.
Right. Hold on.
80% of women are not marriage material. They're not. They're selfish. They're self-centered. They don't have what I would consider that base core feminine skill, that feminine quality. Mm-hmm. They don't have that. They don't even trust their own intuition. They don't even have good intuition. Like I'm trying to teach a woman about intuition, like what that is and how to know things. That is deeply a part of the feminine.
See, and she's speaking to the feminine. Hold on. John says, I mean, she right, but it's also true for men. True. A lot of them are not marriage material. We all need to do better. Ain't no question. We all got to do better around this motherfucker. But we got to do better, people. You know what I mean? But it's like looking at the landscape of the world, and I'm gonna look through the lens of social media.
This is where you lose me.
Right, but this is where a lot of people lenses are. You know what I'm saying? This is where a lot of people focus are. Though, you know, just like we was talking a couple of weeks ago, and I said, I think what you asked the question is like, does social media play a part in a man's self-esteem and shit, right? And I said, for me personally, hell no. You know what I see on there, it doesn't bother me though. But in the realm of what we're talking about, looking in from the lens of social media, where all age groups are tuned into it though. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Locked into social media, and you see the change in femininity in most women on there though. It's very for some women it's very sexually explicit, showing a lot of skin, showing this, showing that, and the self-centeredness. Oh, I'm not dating a man that has a 9 to 5. You see them videos. You do see a lot of videos of women debunking that too though. But you see a lot of videos of women feeling like like how they feel, and a man would look at that like, nigga, I might hit that, but I'm not finna marry that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she's not wife material, but she still look good. So I might play on that though, but it's nothing moving further past that because of, the way she get out and how she put things out there. You know what I mean? She's very self-centered.
Yeah. I think self-centeredness is like I don't even know how to even. What just keeps coming into my head is like a woman not knowing how to like listen to her intuition.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that the first few things that come to my mind is like her environment. Like you spend too much time with people. You don't spend enough time alone. You know what I'm saying? To understand your intuition. Or you're a serial dater. You go from one to the next to the next. So you got all this spirit, just you're taking it in. You know what I'm saying? All this spirit around you. You know what I'm saying? Absorbing it like a sponge, and you don't have time to even like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? What's this? And I feel like the convenience of social media aids in that. The convenience of, oh, I can have somebody like get me this, fly me out, do this, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just like, okay, but you just got used and tossed. Like, so what next? You know what I'm saying? But that takes a different level of like discipline, you know what I'm saying, to be able to see certain things, and like also like, what is your goal? You know what I'm saying? And like, I've turned people down for offering me drinks because I'm just like, no, you're gonna want something out of this that I'm not gonna give you. Find the next one. Like, thank you, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to like really like respond to that. I will say I feel like marriage is a dying like art. You know what I'm saying? It's like not something that's as like common, I feel, as it was. I don't feel like people are willing to wait it out. They're not willing to like stay for the kids. They're not, they're not like, women aren't willing to be slapped up, like men aren't. I don't know. I just feel like it's something that's dying today. Like when you hear marriage, so as far as anyone being ready for marriage or being marriage material, I don't even think that's what a lot of people that's their goal. I don't even know if that's their goal.
Right. And that's where I got like looking from the eyes of like social media. You know what I'm saying? From the lens of social media, it's like ain't nobody really looking for that though. You know what I'm saying? It's just more about, like you said, people like the women getting flown out and stuff, but it's like, how long is that gonna last though? You know what I mean? You get flown out so many times, and them dudes gonna get tired of you too though. So you're gonna have to find a new batch of dudes or whatever though. John says it only plays a part if you let it.
What does social media? What you saying, John? Exactly. That's what I agree with that 1,000%. If he's talking about social media, it only plays a part if you let it. And you could tell when you're sitting next to somebody and you're having a genuine conversation, and they may or may not be interested in you if they let social media influence their train of thought. You can tell if you really like sit outside yourself and really like listen to what they're saying. It's just like, you're asking, like, to me, I'm like, you're asking dumbass questions, but it's just what's trending on social media. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, the topic of the, you know, the topic of the day. You know, what should a man be doing? What should a woman be doing? Like, they got to do this, they got to do that. No, do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Have requirements of what you want. Like, not every man's going to want the same thing. Not every woman's going to want the same thing. And no one needs to fit in a box.
Right.
So that's how I feel about when it comes to like any type of like relationship in social media. If you're letting that play a part in it at all, it's just kind of like, what are we doing?
Right. Yeah, that shouldn't have no play in it though. You know what I mean? At all.
Yeah.
Keep it all private. Keep it private.
Yeah, it's just kind of like that you're setting yourself up to be attacked or to be, you know, I don't know. It's just it's a setup.
Super. Yeah.
You know.
So I want to before. No, go ahead, Pop. Spit it.
No, I will say though, I know a lot of women aren't giving a fuck no more. Going back to what you said about the sexually explicit, the not really like going towards marriage and whatever. And women are not like
they moving like dudes, like niggas.
Man, you know, they're not crying in their bedrooms more. They're not boo-hooing over this one who's already under somebody right now as you're boo-hooing. Like, they're not doing that. Like, it's a new age of women out there, and it's ruthless. It's ruthless, man.
Man, like NWA.
Man.
We're gonna call it WWA, women with attitudes.
Not the WWA.
You know what I'm saying? Women with attitudes. No, but look, one key thing about a relationship, right, is the communication. So I got a list though. It's the Big J's communication check-in matrix. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna pull it up, but I'm gonna just kind of run it down though. So it's like it starts with the strategy. You know what I'm saying? The immediate action and the ultimate goal. You know what I mean? So that's how we move. So we start with the setup. So the setup is to you ask questions, you listen, and you work to fix the situation. Right? That's what you would want to do in a relationship with somebody you care about. And the ultimate goal from that, you know what I'm saying, it aligns expectations before you even start talking. You know what I'm saying? Before you get deeply into the conversation, you know, that clear communication helps. And then you get into the delivery. You know, at times we all probably fell victim of being, right, we all fell victim of being, you know, delivering our message in the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So the immediate action with that is use I feel instead of you did. You know what I mean? Stop making a person like they're the criminal or some shit like that, and just make it more so more of a relaxing kind of situation, just to point out how you feeling about the situation, not necessarily what they did. You know what I mean? And the ultimate goal from that, it stops defensiveness before it even starts. You know what I mean? It'll stop a person, because when you're trying to communicate and you know you're being more so pointing fingers, it'll make a person get defensive, so that'll kind of fuck up the conversation. You know what I'm saying? That you're trying to get to and have. You know, and then here's another strategy, the processing. So the immediate action from the processing is you repeat back what they said in your own words. So to make it like, you know, so you have an understanding, to let them know you have a clear understanding what they're saying. That's the ultimate goal. It ensures true validation and clarity. You know, it lets the person know you're paying attention to what they're saying, you know, and you understand what they're saying. Right. You know what I mean? So, and the last one with the strategy is the reset. You know what I mean? So the immediate action from that is, if the conversation gets a little bit too harsh or too heavy, take a break. Take a 20-minute break. You know what I mean? Because have you ever had an argument? I know I've had an argument before, right? To where after that argument, I go sit down and smoke a joint. And it's about 20 minutes or so. Now I'm thinking like, damn, I probably should have said that, or, you know, this could have went this way. You know what I mean? So if you're in the midst of a conversation and it gets heavy, if y'all need to take a break, respectfully, take that break. And the ultimate goal from that is it protects the relationship from a toxic reaction.
Yes.
So, and what does a toxic reaction cause? It can turn a relationship into a toxic relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so what's wrong with my breaks that I be talking about? Because you've been coming at me with my breaks when I'm like, yo, you know, like when I talk about how I might need some time to respond to certain things or to talk about certain things. Now all of a sudden take a break.
Now, but listen, the key words though, Pop. Even when we talked about it then, though, I said a break is cool as long as that person that's asking for the break come back to reignite that conversation, though. Right. Because it shows that you care about the conversation, though. But in this Big J communication check-in matrix right here, you know what I'm saying? It's a 20-minute break. It's a 20-minute break. You know what I mean?
You know, women don't be listening. My bad. You're right.
It keeps the conversation. You know, when you do it like that, it allows you guys to get through and work through the conversation and not have it drag out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you don't want it to last 2 or 3 days, because think about it. You might be feeling some kind of way about the situation, but that person, if they was wrong, might have realized where they was wrong at, and just say, y'all sit down and have that conversation and understand and respect each other's boundaries. Then you are going to feel better about the situation, because they like, damn, baby, you know what? My bad, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, we gotta get this communication right, man. And that's tip 900 from Big J right here, though. When it comes.
That's right, y'all. Tip 900.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Men's Mental Health Month. Okay.
Yes, shout out to Men's Mental Health. Let's keep it going, love.
These niggas talking out of their neck. Don't put no coughing out of your mouth. I'm way too paranoid for threats. Hey, let's get it, bro. DOT, the money, power, respect. The last one is better. Say it's a lot of goofies for the check. I mean,
hey, look though. So we keeping it AI right now. We want to let anybody that want to submit any music for us to rate and give our honest opinion on y'all music. Send it over. Send it to BestWay2Smoke@gmail.com. Send it to the email, and we'll pull it up and process that music though. But so for right now, we're keeping it AI though, because we don't want no community strikes. We don't, we want to be able to move around through the YouTube streets how we want to move around when we up and moving. So we finna get into this song right here. This is an AI song. It's called "Edibles Got Me Stuck." Let's get it cracking.
Yeah. Man, I have responsibilities today. Bills, errands, life. But nah. These edibles said, fuck your plans. Woke up like, yeah, I'm finna handle my biz. Now I'm stuck in the couch like, what day is this? Had a whole damn list, I ain't doing a thing. Can't even find the remote that's right by my knee. Ate that edible like this ain't gon' hit. Now I'm high as hell talking to a bag of chips. Phone keep ringing and I'm ignoring that. If it ain't food at the door, I ain't calling back. Them edibles got me stuck. Whole damn day gone, I don't give a fuck. Bills still do, but I ain't even stressing. I deal with that shit in another dimension. Them edibles got me gone. Swear I sat down, not a whole day gone. Tried to stand up, legs said hell no, bro. Now I'm glued to the couch like a damn TV show. Tried to text back, type yo, that's it. Sat there 20 minutes just looking at it. Order some food, watch the map like a hawk. Man, I tipped that driver before he even parked. He knocked on the door, I ain't answer quick. Took me 5 minutes just to stand and get it. Open the bag, forgot what I bought. Now I'm staring at fries like they teaching the class. The edibles got me stuck. Had big ass plans, but I don't give a fuck. Laundry piled up, sink full of dishes. I'm laid up high, making terrible decisions. The edibles got me gone. attached to a snack. Man, I ain't moving, don't ask me shit. If it ain't important, don't text me shit. I was gon' grind, I was gon' hustle. Now I'm negotiating life with a pretzel. Neighbor knocking, I ain't answer that. Too high to deal with human contact. Boss called twice, I declined that mess. I blame it on technical stress. Tried to stand up, almost passed out slow. Sat right back down, like nah, fuck no. If laziness was money, I'd be rich today. But I'm broke high, and in the same damn place. Edibles got me stuck. Whole day wasted, still don't give a fuck. Life moving fast, but I hit the brakes. Now I'm stuck in space with a bag of grapes. Edibles got me gone. Guess I'll try life again tomorrow morning. Till then I'm vibing high as a kite. Arguing with snacks at 3 in the night. Next time I'm eating half. Nah, I'm lying.
That nigga said, hey man, that's one of them ones right there though. though I am not one of them kind of stoners, you know what I'm saying? I have been there before. To where you get up like, you know what? I'm gonna do this today. You know what I'm saying? You might eat an edible and, you know, do some other things. And now you like, you know what? I'm gonna chill today. You know what I mean? I'm finna chill today. I'll do that tomorrow though. You know what I'm saying? I think us as stoners though, I think we all done been there before. So that's
we were like, well, it's time flew. Just like I'm not doing shit no more.
Yeah,
you know, I don't know. It's like I don't know what I had planned, but I'm not moving.
Man, it's like one of them fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't doing nothing though. But that's a slapper for me right there though. That's a slap. And like I said, anybody that want to submit, any artist that want to submit music, you got a friend that do music or you do music, submit your song and we'll highlight your song and we'll give our honest opinion on your music on 900 Radio. Let's go. Let's keep it moving.
Hey.
What's poppin', y'all? Welcome to the Pop Off. I got a little history going on here. I had one hell of a week, and I got to learn a lot. So I'm gonna just sprinkle some news with you guys. So how was your Juneteenth, Big J?
I know we talked about it.
Yeah, for sure. Love to hear it. For those who do not know, Juneteenth, it celebrates June 19th when enslaved Black Americans in Texas learned that they're free. So they were free, they were freed prior, but they learned that they were free June 19th, and it was a turn up, right? So a lot of what people don't know is like Mexico's contribution to like freeing slaves, right? And I know there's a lot of back and forth when it comes to online of like where Mexico stands when it comes to Black folks in general. Just put it out there, right? We've talked about it a number of times, you know. However, one fact I've learned is Mexico actually celebrated Juneteenth about 150, like federally, like 150 years prior to here in the U.S.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Man, so Juneteenth, I'm going to read a little bit of like notes that I pulled up, right? So Juneteenth is celebrated in a small village in northern Mexico called Nacimiento de los Negros in the state of Coahuila. I hope I said that right.
It sound like you did.
I actually have ancestors from that area as well. That's dope. I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool to learn. But the tradition honors the descendants of Black Seminoles. I probably said that wrong too. I'm so sorry. That's an Indian tribe, by the way, who fled enslavement in the United States. In the mid 1800s, hundreds of Black Seminoles, I hope I'm saying that right. Hundreds of Black Seminoles, formerly enslaved faced escalating threats of kidnapping, re-enslavement, all that in the U.S. And they were seeking freedom, right?
Yep.
So they crossed into Mexico, where slavery had already been outlawed in 1829, right? So the Mexican government granted the group land in exchange for defending the northern border against the raids. So, and this is where, like, I've definitely heard there was like a lot of beef. Like, there's always been beef between the U.S. and Mexico, right? You know, Mexico was invaded a number of times, forced into Catholicism, all of that, right?
Yeah.
So when they abolished slavery, right, they were also going back and forth with the French. That's a whole different topic. But the U.S. would try to tell them, like, hey, I know we got slaves who ran over to your land. I need you to return them. And Mexico's like, nah.
Nada.
No, it's in, like, you know, it's when you're on our land, you're free. Right. You know what I'm saying? When you're on our land, you're free. And that's that. You know, so there's always been that little tension between the US and Mexico for a number of reasons. But that was a whole different one, you know. So yes, Mexicans agreed to give Black Americans, and then in this case, this tribe, land and freedom for watching their borders. You know, you're already getting freedom anyway when you cross onto when you cross that Mexican border. But they were like, they basically had that, like, we'll give you land for, you know, watching our borders. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and the Seminoles in Florida, hope I'm saying that right, they were actually a combination of indigenous tribes that ended up going to Florida, right? So whatever might have happened, like, with their tribe, you know, we all know that history where they were murdered, raped, whatever the case was, you know, damn near wiped out. The survivors ended up going into Florida and forming a whole nother tribe. And then they also took in enslaved African Americans as well, you know, and then had formed their own tribe, the indigenous Seminoles. I'm probably saying that wrong. I hate that I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, but
we'll pop it up. We'll pop it up on the clip though. So you know what I mean? Like when we clip it, yeah,
right.
This is good information though, Pop, for sure.
Right. So Mexico's celebration predates the United States recognition of Juneteenth as an official federal holiday by roughly 150 years. And in that village in Mexico that still thrives, they have huge celebrations there all the time. You know, when it comes to Juneteenth, they've been having these for about 150 years. They whether it comes to their music, their food, you know, classic barbecue, guys, classic barbecue with horses. Okay, like it's a whole turn up. Even like some of the food that was listed, it literally like was a blend of just like Mexican and African. It was crazy. They had like sweet potato bread, you know, like just I was just like, oh wow. So, and there are different parts in Mexico where they have like heavy like African roots because of when they brought the slaves over, right? So
some of the food, one of my Mexican partners told me this though, like even some of the food, like you speaking about the food is influenced, some Mexican food is influenced by Africa. Like, you know, Africa, yeah.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I'm sure, like, listen, between Africa and Mexico, and maybe even, I would say between Africa and Mexico, I want to say there's a heavy influence in food, like all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Uncomparable. So I thought that was interesting because I've seen with the FIFA Cup going on right now?
Yeah.
The Juneteenth celebrations were turned. And I was like, yo, what? So it made me dig into it, you know, a little bit. Like, and then that's when I learned, I'm like, oh, like they've been had it like federally recognized and they've been celebrating for 150 years before the US. So I thought that was awesome to know. And with that, we have a clip. If I didn't explain it that well, we got a clip of someone who is.
Let's go.
De Mayo, and I kept seeing a lot of questions like this. I wonder if Mexicans celebrate Juneteenth. Did you know that there's communities in Mexico that do celebrate Juneteenth? And it's actually known as El Día de los Negros. This holiday is heavily celebrated in northern Mexico, specifically in a little village called El Nacimiento de los Negros, Coahuila, Mexico. So check this out. The descendants of Black Seminoles, known as Moscogos, have been celebrating this holiday for over 100 years. And it's to honor their ancestors who fled slavery in the United States and sought freedom in Mexico during the 1850s. This celebration features horse parades, music, and traditional foods like tetepun and barbecue. Tetepun is sweet potato bread. But isn't it crazy that even though this is a celebration in Mexico, a lot of Mexicans in the United States don't celebrate it? Yeah, one of the reasons why a lot of Mexicans in the United States don't celebrate it is because they unfortunately do not know their Mexican history. Education is key.
Come on, Wi-Fi.
And our history was whitewashed. Fortunately, these last 20 years in Mexico, the government has been trying very hard to unerase Afro-Mexican history, along with indigenous history. We have a lot of Black communities in Mexico and a lot of parts of Central America. And it's not just because a lot of enslaved Black people fled to Mexico. It's also because during the transatlantic slave trade, Mexico, or Central America, was the third biggest population of African slaves, way more than the United States. But the reason why we see a lot of racism and colorism within the Mexican or Latin community is because of the caste system. It is why it's very important to
Man.
Come on, Wi-Fi. I got faith.
share our history to end that systemic racism that has been implemented by the oppressor. But did you know this? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Yesterday was Cinco de Mayo, and
Hey, man, that's some history for you right there, though.
That is some history.
I'm gonna share that with some people.
Man, and one thing that caught my eye about just like the racism, colorism in Mexico, she brought up was the caste system. So a caste system is a form of social stratification where an individual's social and economic status is determined by birth and remains largely unalterable throughout their life. I hope I'm reading the right thing. Historically, the system was divided into 4 primary tiers, which subsequently branched into thousands of subgroups. Let's see. So I thought that was interesting because it's like, if we think about all of these countries, US, Mexico, the Caribbean, that were invaded by Europe, right? That were basically like enslaved their people, took their land, and ultimately their culture. The same things go on in each and every community, in each and every island, country, whereabouts, whatever, right? And it's basically a systematic plot to turn everyone against each other so they forget who the oppressor is. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're very well known that I'm from the Northeast, where it's kind of like looked at as like African Americans and Latinos are like one of the same, right? And maybe it's because like, where I'm from, there's like heavy and like Afro Latinos, but we come in all shades and colors. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's not like, oh, well, I feel like the Afro Latino is more of a common, like more of a today's, thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you don't go to the country and they be like, I'm Afro. They be like, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm Dominican, I'm Haitian or whatever. No one's saying I'm white Haitian, I'm Black Dominican. No one's saying that. It's not a thing. That's an American term. You know what I'm saying? When you go to these other places, like, it's the same bait has been planted to keep people oppressed, and to keep the divide so because people are a lot stronger in numbers, and people are a lot stronger in knowledge. So a huge thing that also has been taken away is knowledge, like how the woman said in the video, like gratefully the last 20 years, Mexico is trying to take their history back and really put light. Like, no, Christopher Columbus was not. No, we was not fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're trying to bring that history back because of how whitewashed and diluted it was to keep up with its oppressor, right? So I thought that was very like interesting to even learn that there were places in Mexico that celebrated it so like yearly. You know what I'm saying? They celebrate it so wholeheartedly, and I'm like,
it's in them. It's in them.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Man. So yeah, so I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, shout out to that good information right there though. That's some history. That's some history for you though, for sure.
Right. And it was a similar history with when we think about Cinco de Mayo, right? They it was like a small area in Puebla, I want to say, that defeated the French. And they weren't, on paper, they were not supposed to beat them. You know what I'm saying? They weren't supposed to beat them, but they beat them bad where the French had to go back for like a year and figure shit out. Like they were like, wait. And at that time, the French were also, I want to say, given weapons and resources to the U.S. When it came to slavery. You know what I'm saying? So it slowed, because that wasn't happening, it slowed down, how things were getting done in the U.S. when it came to slavery, which ended up leading it to its abolition altogether. So it's like really like a, you know what I'm saying? It's really like we got to look at the bigger picture, you know what I'm saying? And like really stay educated and pick up a book.
Right.
So people are stronger as one. I can't stress it enough. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting though. Because like I said, a lot of people probably don't know that,
I know I didn't.
Right. But it's a trip too, though. Like you think about, like as a Black person, you think about other races, how you see, like Mexicans, come together and communitize though. But like when you got Mexican partners though, like really got Mexican partners, like they have internal beefs too though, like the El Salvadorians, the Mexicans and stuff like that though. And I brought that up to say that even with the skin color, like how the young lady said in the video, even with the skin color, like in a lot of communities and in the Mexican communities, the darker skinned person is frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of frowned upon and stuff in certain communities, though. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a trip. Like to your point of like the way it's set up to be. Think about the job application. It made me think about the job application, right? You see African American, Asian American, Mexican American, you see all this indigenous, Indian or whatever, but then for white people it just say Caucasian. It don't say nothing. It don't say Caucasian American. It don't say European American. It just say Caucasian.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But yeah, it's just it's a trip though. Like when you really dig into stuff.
And to that point of like, it was like it's like it's sad no matter what way you put it, right? Because like how you said, darker skin gets frowned upon in a lot of settings, no matter what country you might go to, right?
Yeah.
And you have like this mixed look, whether it's Mexican, whether it's Puerto Rican, whatever that might look like, you know what I'm saying? That was intentionally placed to dilute our bloodline, and it's like the trauma that might come from that family, but still it's looked at as privilege. You know what I'm saying? And then you, on the other hand, you have, you know, say African American, you know, or let's say African, right? Darker skin. However, it's like more pure of what they are, where they come from. You know what I'm saying? Whether it is indigenous, whether it is African, you know, whatever that might look like. You know, you have a more pure like sense of your history and, you know, belonging, where it's just like, and put through the ringer. You know what I'm saying? Put through the fucking ringer. Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? And it just causes this like beef, like with all communities. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, okay, yeah, your family was ran through and, you know, oppressed, but we're still being oppressed. So it's just, it's like it, man, they did their biggest one with this divide that they created. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like no one, like, when are we gonna win? You know what I'm saying? When is it gonna be some type of unity? You know, because it's like how you said, you could, you know, you could go to a job and try to, you know, apply for a job, but they might be looking at, we've had a guest who said she worked at a place where HR would filter the race part.
Yep.
I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Yep. But it's out there. It's out there. It's alive.
For sure.
You know? But it's like that sense of colorism is placed in every community, and it was intentionally done. You know, intentionally done to keep the war going. You know what I'm saying? So while we're fighting each other, no one's holding no one's holding the person up top accountable. Nobody. We're too busy fighting each other.
Right. Yeah, that's real talk though. I'm glad I'm not one of. Hold on, let me see if my shit snap back in though. Look, I'm glad I'm not one of them ones though. Like I've never been one to like discriminate as far as with the color. You know, I like the light skin, I like the dark skin, I like the brown skin. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Man, for sure. I know I just coming back from New York and seeing how like of a melting pot that shit is, and no one gives a fuck. Like that energy is like super missed. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. Like it's so blended. Like, you know. However, it did like it something snapped in me where it was like, okay, well, I see why like maybe like more pure cultures don't respect it, because they're just like, how can we respect that? Like you can't have this full Black experience, you can't have this full, you know, indigenous experience, you can't say you've had that full experience like when you have a melting pot of things going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's still sad nonetheless. It's not saying either or is right, but like seeing the melting pot, you know, being in it and just being like, it is what it is. Like people are fighting over respect, not because, oh, well, what are you doing on my block? You're this color. You know what I'm saying? No, they're just like, you stepped on my motherfucking shoes. You know, or whatever the case is, a little bit, you know. So
yeah, the politics out here is just like, I think is more so, you know, you got the gang culture, and then you have people just like, how can I say, like trying to protect their own. You know what I mean? Like trying to make sure their own is straight. You know what I mean? So
it's hard to see that at first, but once you really like are like, once you're really like submerged in like the Cali culture, you start to feel like, okay, people are starting like how you said, protect their own. They want to know their neighbors. They want to see who's coming in and out, who's walking by that car. Like, you know, what's going on? What's your purpose here? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a very much like protect your own, you know?
Yeah. I think, and then I think like, yeah, protect your own. Like, but it when you mix it with the gang culture, you know, it just turns it into a different kind of dynamic though. Like Southern California, LA is different. The politics is different. You know, you can go up north, you know, to the Bay, and it's a lot different up there. You know, it's more of a like you said, like the mesh and the melting pot. But see, there's even communities out here that's like that too, though. You know what I mean? Though there's a lot of communities that's not. There's a lot that's to where everybody commingle and, you know, everybody doing their thing and stuff like that though, and it's all love though. But you know, I grew up in the era though where it was like, you know, we had homies and stuff like that, but then we having riots, we having race riots at school, you know, in middle school and high school and stuff like that though, you know. So yeah, it's crazy.
Ooh, race riots.
Yeah.
Walk me through one of them.
Oh, it just go down like it just turned
middle
up the
school.
Middle school, middle school. People, man, a lot of things happen. People get stabbed, all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then, you know, high school, middle school, high school, it was going down in the city though. Yeah, people will come up like the riot will be planned out, you know, the day before. It don't just happen like they don't happen like that, you know, just spur of the moment though, but they don't just happen like that. It's planned out. You know what I'm saying? And it just turn up though, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I done seen some shit though. The whole school.
And it's just like between different cultures.
Yep.
Oof.
Race riot. You know what I mean?
Man.
Yep. That's the politics though. But you know, but like you said though, like everybody is stronger, especially if you're in the same communities, you're stronger together versus, you know, fighting against each other and being at odds and shit like that though, you know. But that's just the way it is. Man. That's just the way it is though. We gotta
give more grace to it because, you know, slavery was what, 400 years?
Right.
And freedom's been what? Not even 200?
Man, ain't no question.
So day will come. The day will come.
So just fight the good fight, my people.
But on another note,
right.
I'm gonna pivot into Best Way to Paint because it's coming. July 26th, y'all. Best Way to Paint. We're doing we're doing a sing-along Best Way to Paint this time around. So
come with the vocals.
With the vocals.
With
you know
the
what I'm
vocals.
saying? So I'm gonna need y'all to come up and show out, you know, like open mic type.
And we're doing it from where? From when?
We're doing it from 2 to 5 p.m. It is a hard 2 o'clock, y'all. Like, yo, y'all be killing me. It is a paint workshop type thing. So it's like we're gonna be guiding a session. You know, I love the people who came in and were like, I'm just doing my own. Like, people came in, sparked up, and was like already seeing the vision of how they wanted to do things and just paint, like did their own thing. I thought that was great, you know. But it's not like 2 to 5. 2 to 5. It's not show up at 3:45. You know what I'm saying? Come in that 2 to 3 range, okay, and be ready for the turn up. You know, we're gonna have a DJ. You know, we're gonna have guest comedian co-host Hugo, Worldwide Hugo. He smacked it last time. It was a good ass time. So we're bringing him on back. You know, and it's also my birthday season, y'all. It's my birthday season, so I can't wait.
It's going down.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going down. We can't. We can't wait. But what I'm saying, it's gonna be from the what to the what? The music. The music is gonna be from the what
it's gonna be the 99s to the 2000s, guys. It's gonna be the 99s to the 2000s. The 90s throwback did great. you know, and I think we're gonna keep, you know, who knows? We might keep it in that, you know, realm a little bit, but you know, we doing it for the 99s and the 2000s. Okay.
And the 2000s. So we finna touch a lot with the 2000s. You know what I'm saying? From the 99 to the 2000s. You know,
yes.
So yeah, it's gonna be a dope experience. We finna turn this one up. Like Pop said, it's a sing along. So man, be ready to turn up and have a good time.
That's right.
Ain't no question.
That's right.
Ain't no question. And on that note, we want to thank y'all for tapping in with us. I've been glitching. No, but
I've been glitching.
I've been glitching. That shit is irritating. No, I guarantee I'm gonna fix this for the next one. Though. But look, we want to thank y'all for tapping in with us. We appreciate y'all. Follow us everywhere at Best Way to Smoke with the number 2, and you can follow me at Big J right there.
That's it.
_ BW2S, and let them know, Pop.
That's right. And you can follow me at C_Pop34. That's C_POP34. And give us a tap in on Best Way to Smoke. Submit your music. You know, slide in the DM, hit the Gmail, bestwaytosmoke@gmail.com with your music and your socials. So we could go ahead and review your song, because when Big J's picking them, it's always one of them ones.
One of them ones.
For sure. And we'll see y'all next Monday.
Yeah, see y'all. Call me Glitch J tonight though. We see y'all next time though. Best way.
I've been glitching.
Yeah, you know me, got the tree, got the hemp, got the flare. I'm gon' lean in this chair, about to put this in the air.